to Jeremy Pruitt. Please like and subscribe if you like this content at Off the Hook Sports, our YouTube page, and you can go to offthehooksports.com. Jeremy Pruitt, should he ever, quite simple, I'm going to make this easy. Should he ever be allowed to coach in the in college football again, in the NCAA again? So he's with the New York Giants now. He's going to make a handsome salary. He probably makes $250,000 for the Giants. I don't know, but he's got enough of a resume where he can have a job making strong six digits in the NFL for the rest of his life. And he does, to his credit, do a good job of teaching pass rushing techniques, but I think that's about the extent of his acumen. So where would you ever allow the NCAA? Would you, if you're the NCAA, would you ever allow Jeremy Pruitt to return to college coaching?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you? I mean, honestly, why wouldn't you allow Jeremy Pruitt to return to college coaching? I mean, the NIL is $60,000 is a drop in the bucket right now. Like it literally, there's no. Did he have any kind of in these allegations? Was there any kind of sexual whatever? Was there any kind of racism? Was there any kind of anything as far as that had nothing to do with giving players money or having like real moral issues coming in? No. So why wouldn't you let him coach? If I were a school, I wouldn't want him to coach. I wouldn't pick him. Not as a head coach. I wouldn't say, "Hey, Jeremy Pruitt, I see that you have a availability here. Come and coach my football team." No, I wouldn't let him. I wouldn't want him there. But that's just basically for the stuff that he did on the field.
I'm never letting him, if I'm the NCAA, I'm never letting him come back. And here is why, because of how widespread it was. Now, I know the number, Amanda, of 60,000 is a drop in the bucket. You're absolutely correct. I'm not arguing that point. However, I am not allowing him to ever come back to the NCAA and coach. So he's going to get some sort of show cause penalty. I would think that he can't coach for 2 or 3 years. I don't know when that goes into effect. We don't even know what the NCAA is. We don't know if his time spent, the Giants, his time served. It should be as bad as they are. But I don't think that he would be in a position for it to be so widespread anymore. I think he would be an assistant. If Jeremy Pruitt wants to come back and be an assistant at the college level, I got no problems with that. I do think, though, that if I'm a head coach of said university, I'm keeping a close eye on him.
I think that if I wouldn't allow or I wouldn't want to hire him, but I think if you're looking at coaches, Jim Tressel at Ohio State, if you remember that, that was a whole thing, and he
Oh,
came
yeah.
back to coach. Art Briles, Baylor, they didn't even punish him. Like the NCAA didn't punish him for his sexual assault like allegations.
Yeah, and the cover up was horrible. So let me get this clear. So you don't, if you were NCAA president Amanda LaFratta, you would not allow him back, but you think he will be allowed back. Is
No,
that
if I was the NCAA president at this moment, I would just be on a beach somewhere enjoying my salary and not caring about college football one way or the other. That's clearly what's happening. However, if you look at the past actions of the NCAA, you're going to let him back. You're going to let him back. I'm surprised you're even going to try to punish him because that's just a joke. Like you're going to let him back.
so?
Obviously, look at who all you've let back in.
But well, agreed. But would and should are two different words. So, or let's say will the NCAA at one point, because I think this guy wants to be a college coach. His dad was a high school coach. I don't think he's going to like the NFL very much. So I think he's going to try to come back at some point. So I guess it's a twofold question, Amanda. Do you think the NCAA will eventually allow Jeremy Pruitt to come back to college coaching? One, and then two, if you are President LaFratta of the NCAA,
I like that.
would you allow him to come back? So I guess we're dealing with will and should, two very different things.
I think yes on both, because just based on the past, you can't hold him to a standard that you haven't held other people to. You just can't. If I was the NCAA president, I'd have to, go back and change a lot of things, that's for sure, because college football would look completely different than it does at this moment. However, yeah, you let him back. He doesn't, there's no real, the only moral issue is $60,000 handed out to players and your wife, like, handed them out. Did you pimp your wife out? No. Like,
Well,
there's,
yeah, kinda.
yes, but did you,
Oh,
pimp
not
your wife
literally,
out?
not
Yes.
lit. Well, with the last name Hooker, I understand there's some
Oh, God
flexibility in
bless.
those terms. But did they pimp? Did they pimp? Yeah, she not literally as a pimp, but yeah, he said, "Hey, I need you to apparently funnel money to somebody," and she did it. That
It's funneling money. It's funneling money that happened. This happened, what, 3, 4 years ago? And now we're here literally funneling money to players. You can't just go back and say, you know what, that's 60 grand back then. As bad move, Jeremy Pruitt. You can't coach in this league anymore. You can't coach in the NCAA. Oh, by the way, hi, here's $8 million for coming to our school. It doesn't make any sense. You can't do that. Like, they have no standing whatsoever on this. They have no, because he broke a rule. How many other coaches have broken rules? So many. And how many have gone without punishment? Art
so
Briles.
so ultimately, we're at the will and should question. Will he be allowed to coach again? Should he be allowed to coach again? Yeah, it sounds
Yes
like you're
and
saying,
yes.
okay, I'm gonna say will, yes, because the NCAA has no gumption to it. I'm gonna say should, absolutely not. If it's that widespread, he's just gotta he's gotta go. You're asking your
It's
wife to do it. You're asking,
$60,000.
well,
Calm
that
down.
of what we know of.
Yeah, but how many other coaches do you think have done this? They're just better at it.
Well, I agree with that. But anyway, so the will or should, Amanda thinks that he will coach again in college and that he should be able to. I'm gonna say absolutely not. He should not be allowed to ever coach in college again. Will he?
If,
Yes, he will.
yes, but if it was something that not every coach was doing, or not, multiple people in college football, if they weren't doing this, should he be allowed to coach again? No. But we all know it's happening. We all know it's been happening. Everyone knows that except for like one guy who thinks that everybody else doesn't cheat. However, everybody knows that this is a common occurrence in college football. So if this is such a common occurrence, then no, he should be allowed to coach. Now, if it was something that wasn't common, like say there was a rape allegation, or say there was something else that was very serious, then I would say no, absolutely, you cannot coach again. However, this is something that is widespread across college football and has been for a long time. The NCAA sitting on their hands and not doing anything about it is why he was allowed, or not allowed, but why he felt that it was okay to do. And that's not, that's his fault for thinking that, but that's more on the NCAA than it is anybody else.